Hello and welcome back to the Bobby and Beardy Show Classic Edition. Today we're taking another look at a classic movie. We've created a playlist, by the way, or I did. He didn't do anything. I don't know why I'm giving you any credit, McBeardy, over there.
You never give me credit.
For classic reviews, this will be the third one in it, and obviously over time it'll get bigger and bigger as we look at older films, and we'll have good times everywhere. Continuing from last week's episode where we did Batman Forever, we're still celebrating 85 years of Batman by taking a look at its sequel, Batman and Robin, and Batgirl as well. Mild spoilers throughout, more spoilers towards the back end is kind of how we do these ones rather than the spoiler free and then spoiler section. Time codes below as usual, like I say. Coming up in today's episode, we've got the rundown from McBeardy. We've got some history. We've got the spoiler free, mild spoilers, and spoiler review sections. And we've got a look at the future of Batman, which is mostly the past now, and basically the consequences of this very successful and beloved film.
No sarcasm at all.
Last week, I genuinely meant it when I said Batman Forever is my favorite Batman movie. This one is not my least favorite Batman movie. But it is my second favorite Schumacher Batman movie. So, anyway, I'm Bobby. That gentleman over there is McBeardy. McBeardy, nice to see you.
Oh, I should. Why didn't you tell me you were doing puns? You suck. I'm not prepared with puns.
What killed the dinosaurs, McBeardy? Right? I need to know. Was it the Ice Age? I don't think it was.
That came slightly afterwards, but we'll get onto it later. But the puns. Do you know how many puns Mr. Freeze does in this? Ice-related puns.
Not quite enough for my liking, but there's a good amount of them, and I do enjoy them.
27.
That's that 27, really? Wow, I cannot
27.
remember. I cannot remember most of those. So I could probably only remember the two I've said already, if I'm honest with you.
Anyway, off topic. I think we should do the rundown before anything else.
I think you're right. McBeardy's first, the rundown, everybody. Here we go.
I know. I could mess this up, but I won't. So this is the 1997 Batman and Robin, following Batman Forever, the third film with the fourth title, as we've had before. Based on the DC Comics characters Batman and Robin by Bill Finger and Bob Kane.
It's a fake name. Bill Finger's a fake name.
Is it?
No, sounds like it is.
It does, to be fake. It's like, my name, Fat Finger. As you mentioned, it's the fourth and final installment of the Warner Brothers initial Batman film series. It is the sequel to Batman Forever, and the only one without any involvement of Tim Burton. Returning director of Joel Schumacher, written by Akiva Goldsmith, it stars George Clooney as Bruce Wayne, and spoilers, he's also Batman, replacing Val Kilmer.
Ooh.
Arnold Schwarzenegger as Victor Fries, playing Mr. Fries with all the puns. Chris O'Donnell as a child/man as Dick Grayson and or Robin.
How old is he? You just don't know.
We have no idea. And I think he looks younger in this film, which is weird. Uma Thurman is Poison Ivy. Alicia Silverstone as a smug schoolgirl or cool motorbike racer. Batgirl. And Elliot Goldenthal returns to score Batman and Robin once again. You like the soundtrack better than I do, but it was good. It was great.
I think his two words. Beardy was reading my notes for the rundown, by the way. That's why he got halfway through that sentence and went, I'm not sure I 100% agree with this one. I commend you for even doing the cool motorbike racer that I wrote in my notes.
Yes. With 9 O's, by the way.
Elliot Goldenfall's soundtrack for Forever and Batman and Robin. I think there's some good stuff there.
It was good, don't get me wrong. I'm not sure I'd go as far as great. It was good. Anywho, release date, as we were saying, June 1997, runtime of 2 hours, 5 minutes. Bobby only watches films over, 90 minutes or under, so I don't know why he keeps recommending these films that we need to watch.
What is happening? I swear every film used to be 90 minutes, and I've been banging on about this for years, and it's not true. Where did I get this opinion?
You need to find a film like from the early 2000s, late 90s that is 90 minutes just to prove your point.
I really
so
do.
Far, none of them are. We'll do a separate subcategory of films that are all 90 minutes and under, and that'll be a separate playlist.
We'll start a new playlist, yeah.
Runtime 2 hours 5 minutes. The budget between 125 and 160 million, which is obviously a big. It's an extra 33% on top, which is between 245 and 313 million today. Worldwide box office 238. So it made money, but that's 466 million in today's
Are you aware
money.
your phone's ringing, sir?
Not.
Or an alarm?
Yeah, it's my phone. I'll need to get back to that a little bit later. Batman Forever was made for, I missed that for again, roughly 100 million, which is 206 in today's money. It made 336 million, which is about 694 in today's money, with much better returns.
So much better returns. I'm keeping all of that phone ringing in, by the way. I'm showing you just how professional Beardy is when it turns to recordings.
The issue is noise cancelling headphones. I could not hear anything.
So huge drop on the budget. Boost on the budget has gone up, obviously. A huge drop on the returns, which we will come back to. This film is considered a box office disappointment at the time, quite obviously, because it made no money in comparison to the previous one. It also received generally negative reviews from critics and is considered harshly, in my opinion, to be amongst the worst films ever made. That is simply outrageous. It's not even close. There are so many worse films before this, and there are so many worse films after this. This film needs to be taken completely out of the equation. For example, any of the Sony Spiderless Spider-Man movies.
Oh,
Madam Web. We did a review on it. I might put a link up there.
Some of them are better than this film. Some of them are worse. I do agree this film gets unreasonably treated. It's not the best film ever made. It is not bad at all. People need to calm the hell down. I think people jump on a hype wagon or an anti-hype wagon, and in some situations, roughly what's happened.
Well, even Clooney's on it. Clooney just, he acts like he made a film of him kicking dogs, and then he accidentally released it. Warner Brothers thought this film was going to be a massive success. By the way, I'll come back to it later in the future and things. But they loved that. They thought this film was going to be massive, and public did not care for it. So,
as we kind of said just before this, I did some research, and apparently Clooney has been cited as actually refunding people when they told him that they saw the film.
Now, is he refunding them?
Giving his...
Is he refunding them in the ticket price they paid in 1997, or is he adjusting for inflation?
You reckon he's probably asking them how much they make per hour and paying them 2 hours of that?
Oh, you reckon? Yeah, that makes sense. Makes sense.
That makes a lot more sense.
Good guy, George Clooney. Hello, welcome back. Beardy did have to take that phone call that he was rudely ignoring earlier. But let's crack on with the show. Time for some history. Everybody settle down. So Warner Brothers fast track. We've done all this before as well. Beardy lost his audio. He was recording the wrong thing. I have to repeat myself.
So professional.
Warner Brothers fast track development for Batman and Robin and Batgirl as well. Following the box office success of Batman Forever, because Batman Forever is a great film. New Batman, though. Kilmer is out. Clooney is in. Like I mentioned last week, Schumacher and Kilmer clashed a lot on set. Schumacher described Kilmer as childish and impossible at one point. Val Kilmer decided not to reprise the role of Batman, and Schumacher admitted he sort of quit. He sort of fired him. Kilmer said he wasn't aware of fast track production and was already committed to The Saint and Heat. But don't you worry, McBeardy, because I know you were worried. I know you were worried.
I was scared.
Even though I just said this to you a second ago when we did this recording a second ago. Old Man Dick is back and is impossible as ever to figure out how old he is. With Kilmer out, Schumacher was interested in casting William Baldwin, but George Clooney won the role. Baldwin was considered for the role of Batman in Batman Forever as well, before obviously losing the role to Val Kilmer. I still don't know if I made that up.
I still think you're making stuff up. Yeah, 100% making up.
Who knows? We'll never know. We'll never know for sure. Schumacher was given the mandate from Warner Bros. To make the film more toyetic than its predecessor. Pretty toyetic as it was. If you don't know what that word means, I only read about it a couple of days ago as well. It essentially means make sure we can sell all the toys. All the toys. The studio reportedly included toy companies in pre-production meetings, like all along, from start to finish, all along.
Wow.
Mr. Freeze's blaster was specifically designed by toy manufacturers as well, so they are in from the ground up in this film.
Was gonna say, like, you can probably tell why costuming was so the way it was in this, because it makes it easier to translate into toy, specifically Mr. Freeze.
Yeah. There's vehicles and all sorts. It's just like, buy this, you can buy this, you can buy this version, that version. So that's the backstory. We're back, baby, with Batman, Robin. Beardy, what's the story of Batman and Robin? And Batgirl as well.
So, well, basically they got 10 storylines and went, just, you fit in this 2-hour movie, please, just work. It is the story of Bruce Wayne as a Batman, sorry. Old Dickie as Robin, and Gotham's got some trouble going on again. Who would have thought it?
I wouldn't.
We open on with a new villain, Mr. Freeze, Robin, museum, pulling out a load of puns, doing some ice skatey bits with his villains, trying to get some ice. He needs a big diamond, basically. That's the main driving point of this film. It's all Mr. Freeze and why does he need to do the robbing and what's he trying to work towards. And then subplot-wise, old Poison Ivy gets made by accident by creepy, pervy other doctor who didn't like some of the stuff that she was saying. And in a very bastardized version of what actually happens to Poison Ivy, she gets made. And Uma Thurman does her sultry, seducing, blowing on people thing. But also, what? Blowing on people.
Gotta be careful there, gotta be careful.
And as a ridiculous side character, they take a fantastic villain in Bane and go, well, she needs someone to drive the car and put on silly outfits, say stupid things, or nothing. So we're going to make Bane as well. And as a threesome, they go around terrorizing Gotham, terrorizing each other, causing some infighting between Batman and Robin. And out of all of this, there's an extra 2 storylines with Alfred being unwell, and I guess we could do with Batwoman as well. Why not?
Batgirl, thank you very much.
Batgirl, yeah. Because they do try to say Batperson to be more PC in the 1997.
Yeah, that was weird to rewatch.
That was really weird.
The joke would be made now. Honest that.
Yeah.
Oh.
So yeah, that's at least I can count 8 storylines there. They just decided one film.
Good stuff.
We'll give them 15 minutes each.
Good stuff. It's a bit of a convoluted mess. There's a bit too much.
Yeah.
And I've got notes on some of those things.
I've got some notes.
We'll come back to some of the others as well. I just want to reiterate. I know we've already mentioned it. This film should not be called Batman and Robin. It should be called Batman Forever. They've got it the wrong way around, and it infuriates.
With a 4.
Oh yeah. God Christ. No, that's a way too post 2000 thing to do, to start putting random 4s. Expand 4 balls, for example. So partially down to nostalgia, partially because Batman is a dumb character and you should stop making serious films about this dumb character who has gadgets galore on his belt. Not as many gadgets as last film, by the way. There's some good ones, but not enough. Not as many. Anyway, I enjoy aspects of this film.
Yes,
but not as much as I did last time. I think there's too much. I'll go for it.
I was gonna say I was quite upset that gadgetry wise they did have less, and they could have put in some of the stuff from the original 1966, which obviously I mentioned last time I loved. There's fantastic parts with Mr. Freeze where they get saved by their bat thermal underwear. It's a throwaway line. They could have done like holy rusted metal. It would have been fine. I would have been very happy. But for a film that didn't take itself anywhere near as seriously as even Batman Forever did, they missed out on a lot, even though they put as many puns in as they did.
Yeah. Well, Arnold is leading the charge and any enjoyment from this film, if I'm honest with you.
He's so quotable.
I think this film has way too much focus on Robin. Again, I know it's called Batman and Robin. He is a big moany baby, even though he's in the body of a 30-year-old or whatever. I think there's too much focus on Batgirl as well. Do we need another smug teenager appearing, but is also a super cool secret bike racer who does karate? No, I don't think we do. I think there's too many rebellious teenagers in this movie in general with those two. Can a Batman movie just be slightly more about Batman, just in general? Because it kind of feels like he's once again mostly a background character. He is more involved than last time, because in Batman Forever, it's Two-Face and Riddler doing their thing over here, and then he's just trying to get laid over here. I maintain that Chris O'Donnell is not a good fit for the role of Robin. He's the wrong age, for one.
Yeah.
He wasn't good last time. He hasn't improved. The script doesn't allow him to improve because it makes him a little moany baby, which is what he was in the previous film as well. Suddenly now we've got two annoying side characters eating up screen time. And quite honestly, Dick Grayson is a freaking knob in this film. He's a massive baby, like I say, and his temper tantrums getting on my nerves. Quite honestly.
I agree. I don't know who they would have cast in the late 90s, but if you look at things like the Titans cast from the Netflix show, one of the other shows, the two Robins they have in that are both brilliant. Put some effort in. I've got nothing against O'Donnell, but just he's not Robin.
Well, speaking of not being Robin, I think George Clooney is a worse Batman and Bruce Wayne than Val Kilmer. Now, this could very well be bias and like rose-tinted glasses and stuff, because Batman Forever was my first Batman. But I don't know. It just doesn't. He doesn't work for me. I'm just looking at George Clooney the entire time. Well, that's George Clooney. Where's my boy Val Kilmer? And I do wonder if the repeated recastings of Batman impacted the public's perception of this franchise. Did they actually look at it and go, what is this flailing of Batman going on over here? They've moved away from the two films. Well, the first film we liked, and then there was the controversies with being disgusting and fish being eaten the entire time and McDonald's and stuff. Then they go into slightly campy stuff, and now they're getting rid of the lead like 2 years later. I
think the big issue you have with superhero films quite a lot, especially the big ones, Batman, Superman, Spider-Man, you need someone who can play the character and the alter ego. And I think what they've done is gone, Batman, he's rich, he's suave. Clooney, of course. Is he Batman, though? No, of course he's not. I think that's exactly where they went wrong.
Just looking at him in the suit, I'm like, that's not my Batman. Why do Batman and Robin hate each other in this film? Like, from like the minute one, they are at each other's throats. Just calm down. Stop it. You're annoying me.
But they need it, like 8 main storylines isn't enough. They need subplot too.
Well,
that's just all it is.
The reason they've got to be at each other's throats is so that when Poison Ivy turns up and they both get the massive horn for her, then they can use that to try and separate them.
Yeah.
Let's talk about something I do enjoy, though, because I do genuinely think Mr. Freeze is great in this film. Big fan.
Agreed.
Many puns. He's a good time. I think Arnold is good in the role. Obviously, Arnold's acting is limited, but I think they created this character around him. They just gave him silly puns to say, and I'm here for it. He's no Jim Carrey. He's no Tommy Lee Jones as Riddler Two-Face. Those are my pinnacle. Again, partly nostalgia.
I agree.
But what I will say is I just love how everybody in these movies, the entire franchise, just has a bunch of goons who will always do their dirty work. Unemployment must be god-awful in Gotham. Batman, why aren't you doing something about that? Thank you very much. Freeze has got the local hockey team. Great stuff. Two-Face had his guys. Joker had his lads. It's a great time to be a goon in Gotham. There's work galore.
Abundance.
Also, Mr. Freeze is a good husband. He's a good husband. He's just trying to save his wife. He even rejects, he's got that random hussy who tries to seduce him in his cave. I don't know why he's got her around, to be honest. She's not part of the hockey team. She's just kind of wearing not much clothing. Must be very cold.
Yeah.
He's a good husband. He's not going to cheat. Just trying to save her and do some science. And he's keeping his chin up by doing puns. I think Batman's the bad guy, quite honestly.
There is a good argument for that, actually. Like,
just give him
he's
some
abusing
diamonds.
his power.
You can save that person. That's a disease. Other people in this universe have this disease. And you, Batman, Bruce Wayne, are not helping anybody.
Someone close to Bruce Wayne has it in this film. That's a whole plot point as well. Again, another subplot point. Why not? And yeah, like I'm fully on board with Batman being the bad guy in a lot of this, because you see, again, some superheroes aren't willing to do serious physical violence. He's more than happy to do serious bodily harm to people. And he's not going to be caught by it because, firstly, alter ego. Secondly, if he does get caught, money. Like the strongest superpower. Like
also, the police love him in this franchise. They are all
yes.
They're always on the phone to him going, "Batman, please save us." There's no like right
it's less work for them.
Oh, it is.
It's less work and better pension.
They might get frozen occasionally, but they'll sort that out, don't you worry.
That's a small thing. Apparently, you can just put people in red hot water, like actual hot water that is now red, to thaw people, because that's what's needed.
Yeah, no consideration of the fact that his face might thaw first, and then he just drowns underwater. By the way, like
yeah,
my first thing when I saw that, I was like, he's gonna drown. That guy's drowning. What I will say, as much as I love Mr. Freeze, I'm not that much of a fan of Poison Ivy. In this film, for one, there are way too many occasions where she really slowly turns to the other side, and like everyone's just watching her do this, and like no one's going, "What's that? What you got that? What you got there?"
Again, I think she was a cast for the time. Like 1990s, she was quite big. She was in a lot of films, and at that point, I'm going to go out and say this: I don't actually find her all that attractive, and I think Poison Ivy should be more attractive than her.
Well, I don't think they do her any favors with the weird, like, plastic things they stick. The character of Poison Ivy decides to stick on her at times because she changes her looks
the weird red...
and go undercover at times where she's just wearing like her old garb. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, and the little bunny ear hair thing she does for no real reason that I can tell.
Well, listen, that's just your opinion. I mean, Batman and Robin are well into her, so clearly you're in the minority.
Yeah, true. I'm wrong. I'm in the wrong.
But I don't. Yeah, like she. So we got a flipping lunatic hippie, an eco-terrorist, essentially, is what she becomes, running around. Mr. Freeze is just sad, trying to be a good husband. But you get this plant lady who gets killed, kind of, or is meant to by toxins and venoms and stuff. She somehow survives. She emerges from the earth and just starts listing off her new powers. How do you know? How do you know your new powers?
Yeah.
At what point did you come out of the earth and go, well, my lips are poison? I know that instantly, actually. What would you mean? She comes out with different colour hair. Quite frankly, she's just a bit of a hippie and I won't stand for it.
So, again, that's kind of... Her character is supposed to be this eco-terrorist. And then it got retconned to... I'm a bit of a scientist, and this guy didn't really like me, so in the ground I go with the poisons, and I guess now I'm poison.
And now I'm sexy.
Yeah, again, they decided the whole, like, scientist first was a bit frumpy, and now suddenly, well, the plants made me sexy.
The plants made her sexy.
I may as well use this.
Made her sexy. Don't even worry about it. I tell you what, the ununited nations are a bit of fun, though, aren't they? The Doctor, the other scientist, rather, who creates Bane. I can't remember his name. I didn't write it down. He's a bit of fun. In fact, the second he arrives on screen, you go, "Oh, this film is super ham," because you've just had Uma Thurman doing her talking in the border thing, and like how she's creating plants that are going to take over the planet. And this film is actually full panto, isn't it? They've properly gone full panto. They have boosted this up a notch. But I did enjoy the evil scientist who creates Bane. I know you don't like Bane in this movie. I know that's fine. But again, this is the first version of Bane I saw. So I don't mind it. I imagine other people get upset.
The physical design of Bane, I have nothing wrong with. I think that some of the prop work, especially like the painted veins on his skin, is terrible. But the physical design work for him is fine. It's just the fact that they've done Bane so dirty when he's supposed to be super strong, super intelligent, with such a strong backstory. only villain to have bested Batman both physically and intellectually, and then they've gone, well, he's a lackey and he's going to put on a hat and drive a car for a bit, and like,
It's fun.
It's just
a bit of fun.
Yes, it's fun.
Bit of fun, mate.
It's so upsetting. Like I like villains in this universe more than I like the heroes. Joker by far one of my favorites. All the different variations of him, and they have just. What have they done to my boy? Basically,
I'll be honest with you though. I prefer this version of Bane to. Oh, I'm Bane. Oh, I'm Tony. What am I saying? Oh, I'm Bane. Oh, fan.
I have to admit, I can't remember if I said this last episode. I can't remember if I said this last episode, or if not, I'm going to say it now. The Nolan Batmans, I think, are overhyped, and I think a lot of the villains in them are overhyped. And come at me. Do your worst.
Come at me, bro. Yeah, this is. I'm not the fan of either. I'll be honest. This is my silly Batman. Well, actually, Batman Forever is my silly Batman. This is just. I don't know. It hits some stuff and it misses a lot of stuff, and it's mostly, like I said a second ago, all Robin's fault.
Yeah.
Speaking of characters, though, where's Nicole Kidman? She's just left. Just not around. Batman has a new girl. Well, Bruce has a new girlfriend. She wants to get married. Bats ain't up for that. He's a bachelor. He's like, no, thank you. I can only assume that Nicole Kidman's doctor psychologist character has discovered yet another kink that she's exploring elsewhere. To be honest with you,
I think that should be canon.
What else is she doing? She's hooking up with some other.
True.
She's like they talk. Batman mentions Superman in this universe, so there are definitely other characters and freaks existing. So just imagine the freakiest freak in the DC universe, and she's gone to find him and seduce him. I guarantee it. Speaking of freaks, the Neon Freaks are back as well from last episode, or a different variation of them. Bane beats them all up. I love the freaks in Gotham, just like I said last week. If you don't portray the street level as weird as it is, the main bad guys, and the fact that there's a Mr. Freeze with a freeze gun, and there's a lady who's poison, and Two-Face, and it doesn't work. It has to be from the ground up. Everybody is bat shit crazy, you know. I know. It's again. We were just talking about Christopher Nolan stuff. When it's a film just in Chicago and everyone else is normal, Batman just looks weird in it, you know. Also, I was thinking about this earlier. Batman, right? I don't think he dresses like a bat. I'm gonna be honest with you. He doesn't. He's just wearing a lot of black rubber. He's got some pointy ears. Bats don't have pointy ears like that. None of this. He just. If he was Batman, he would be in a proper bat costume. You know what I mean?
I would watch that version of Batman. Happily.
Where's Man Bat? That's all I want to know. Oh, anyway, sorry. I just thought about it earlier. I was like, he's called Batman, and like, I can't remember the various variations of Batman. Like, I'm sure he comes up with himself in some. I'm sure the media call him it in others, and all the hoodlums and stuff, and the street levels. Oh, there's a man dressed like a bat who like create the name. But it's like, you guys need to watch David Attenborough. He doesn't look like a bat.
I love that David Attenborough is in this universe somehow.
Of course he is. He's probably a supervillain. He's probably an eco-terrorist like Poison Ivy, if I'm honest with you.
Yes. Oh, different universe, doesn't matter. I was going to say he'd be amazing Kraven the Hunter, but that's smart.
Great. We've talked about this already, though. Like, some great quotes throughout the film. I've written a couple of down here. These are not. You said there were like 27 or something freeze puns?
27 freeze puns specifically. Yes.
Insane. Well, there's a couple from other people that I've written down here. The crazy scientist who accidentally creates Poison Ivy and intentionally creates Bane. I respect your opinion, but sadly I'm not good at rejection. I'm afraid you'll have to die. Popped for it. Great stuff. Poison Ivy says she'll help Mr. Freeze grab his rocks. Oi, oi.
Yep.
And later, when Batgirl arrives on the scene, she's like, Bruce, it's me, Barbara. By the way, I'm glad I wrote this note down because I couldn't remember her character's name. Bruce, it's me, Barbara. And it's like, yeah, he knows. You've barely covered your face. You're wearing identical matching outfits. Alfred's clearly the tailor. Like, who else is it going to be? Bruce, it's me. Useless. Do you have any thoughts on Batgirl in particular? Because I have several.
I don't like this Batgirl.
Okay.
Specifically, they broke the storyline again, like they did for Bane and they did for everything before it got retconned. It's supposed to be Barbara Gordon
In some versions, I'm pretty sure, yeah.
in almost all.
Well, this one's the preferred version, though.
The idea that Alfred is her uncle, but not actually uncle as in parents' friend, is a whole thing. And she's just very thrown in at the last minute. Very not even 2-dimensional, 1-dimensional. It bothers me. They've just gone like, this is your personality. Just say this is your personality and don't pretend that, like, don't act. Just, this is it. This is you.
Well,
that might be very harsh.
What I think about Batgirl is yet another orphan. Come on. Bruce Wayne just surrounded himself by horny teenagers, orphans, and an old man. He's a weirdo, quite honestly with you.
He's running a cult.
Yeah, a little bit. Batgirl has come over from England. She's at Oxbridge, I presume, University. I think it's university. But how, again, we get back to the point of how old is Dick Grayson in this franchise? Because when she arrives and rings the doorbell, he is right old pervin on her.
Ooh, yeah.
In a schoolgirl uniform, it feels a little gross, if I'm honest with you. And he's having a right old gander. But are they the same age? Because if they're because he kissed a girl in the last film when he stole the Batmobile, but he's also meant to be like a kid in social services. I know it's been a couple of years later, so maybe they're the same age. But also, it's Chris O'Donnell who's like 30, and it's just who looks older. It's just like, what is happening here? This ages and things are all over the place. My point is, I don't think Batgirl's needed in this film. There's so much else going on. I feel like the screen time and the character, you could have just spent more time on the Bruce, Alfred, father, son kind of dynamic that they touch on in like a couple of scenes. Also, while I'm just talking about Batgirl, she cracks Alfred's password. 3-letter password. You wish you could do a 3-letter password in this day and age, I'll tell you that much. That is outrageous. No special characters. Alfred, you fool. But then later, because she's done the 3-letter password, she's now a computer genius who can reposition satellites.
So to be fair, they do say that's what she's studying at Oxford.
Oh, do they? Oh, fair enough.
They do, yes. But my point was, like, other than the fact that
she should have got the password quicker then.
100% yes. But like, if you take her out of the entire story and just change maybe 20 seconds of it, she's not needed, like, at all.
Oh, and she's a secret like racer, and she steals a motorbike and she goes racing and she wins some. And she beats up a Robin in the garage when he sneaks up on her, and she does some karate and flips on us. He's useless. I've got more on that later. He's the most useless boy.
He only knows how to fight laundry. That's all he's
true. Yet another intruder in the Batcave, by the way, becomes Batgirl. Worst security in the world. Easiest place to break into. When she does get her Batsuit, though, we are treated to yet another super crotch butt boob suit up montage. And that's equality, baby. Because this film, once again, I completely forgot to mention it. This film, once again, opens on all the crotch, all the bum. It's like, the Schumacher's like, this is how we start Batman movies. Bum and crotch. It's like, what is happening?
It's what people want. It's what people are here for.
It's what the people want. Yeah, that's equality for you. I'm ready to move into just, I feel like slightly more spoiler stuff. Not too much more, because to be honest, the movie came out in 1997, but
yeah, and also Batman's been around for ages. You've had 85 years. Come on,
people. We're celebrating 85 years. You've read all the comics, people. I know you have.
You wouldn't be here otherwise. Yeah, you go to spoilers, I think.
So, Batman and Robin spend the entire film arguing because they're super horny for Poison Ivy. At one point, they get so horny watching her do a striptease in a gorilla costume that they essentially forget that they're Batman and Robin and start just like chucking out millions to this auction. Don't worry though. He's got his bad credit card. Dumb. I hate it.
I love that so much. It's
so stupid.
Well, did you not see the thing at the bottom as well, by the way? Sorry, it's got the name and the expiration date, and it's Batman Forever.
I didn't see that. That's good.
It's so dumb.
And that's why this film should have been called Batman Forever. I rest my case. Poison Ivy kills Mrs. Freeze after making the boys horny a second time, or third time at this point. Robin goes solo to focus on his boner, essentially. But Batman takes him out like an absolute chump and throws him into a vat of random green paint, which is the second time he just gets his ass kicked completely. He's rubbish.
What I stress about with that specific scene is in a universe where people falling into random vats causes supervillains. Why does he throw him in a random vat?
Yeah, just like, you're in a vat. See you later. And Robin, towards the very end of the film, Robin tricks Poison Ivy into revealing her plan, supervillain style, with rubber lips, so that when she gives him a big old kissy, he's like, ha ha ha, I'm not dead actually, I'm fine, and takes them off. Could she not have just given him a quick smooch again?
100%, yeah.
Also,
the exact same.
Is it only lip-on-lip action that does the kill? Like, if she'd have kissed his cheek, is that nothing? No impact at all? Like, what's happening?
Lip skin and skin are different, I assume.
Yeah. I reckon she could have just killed him. Because honestly, you just leave them on and be like, I'm immune to you, you silly hippie. Just leave them on for the rest of the day. What are you doing?
Also, it's the fact that, like, yeah, fair enough. She kissed him, she's told him his plan, but he's supposed to still be under the sort of like the neurotoxin spell and still be infatuated. Just because she said this doesn't mean that he's now gone, oh, that sounds pretty bad. Don't love you anymore.
No, it's because him and Batman had a chat at the back of the Batcave. They reconciled. They're on the same team now. They put their boners out of the equation. You know, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Also, this is my big thing. I do genuinely think the finale to this film, the end fight kind of vibe, not really much of a. I think this is better than the ending of Batman Forever. I think there's more going on. There's a bit of action. There's a freezing of a city. There's an unmelting of a city. Rather than here's two characters who are going to fall. You can't save the. Oh, you've saved them both. Oh no.
Yeah, and I think this one, story-wise, it returns back to plot points that were discussed 20 minutes, 40 minutes earlier, which is nice. It ties it in better. Obviously, there's different fights for different people. There's a definitive end to one. There's a redemption arc for another. It feels a more full end to a film.
Yeah,
like fleshed out.
100%. You get Bane deflating quite well.
Yeah. Sorry, I keep forgetting that, and it's always funny.
Actually, to be fair, I said this to you just before we start recording. Him, like, he starts off small, Steve Rogers style, and then he gets all big and they changed actors. They like the way they did that. It looked really quite good, and when he deflates, it looks pretty good as well. Going back down to small man body. So, yeah, I think much better ending. It's a much more interesting ending than just going out to a random rock island with a blender, and then just going, oh, I'm fine actually. I'll save them both. I will also add though that those two scientists that Mr. Freeze froze, everyone has 11 minutes to be unfrozen. And they were frozen way longer than that. Like, way longer than that. Those two are dead, mate.
I also don't know where the 11 minutes comes from. Like, it's not a specific number that's important in the Batman universe, and quite famously, if people go without oxygen for 6 minutes, you get brain dead.
Well, here's the thing. Mr. Freeze just says it. He's like, you've got 11 minutes. To Batman early on, when he freezes Robin. This is just before Batman drowns him and gets him back out. He could have just frozen Batman as well, and they'd both be dead within 11 minutes.
Yeah.
But also, does that not take into equation any like differences in like body weight, height, sizes, anything? Is it just 11 minutes for everyone? Is it? All right, fair enough. silly rule.
But yeah, I guess people would thaw at different rates as well.
Mm.
Right. I would thaw slower than you.
I'm a warm boy. I'd be like, I'll be out there in seconds.
I'm warm, but I'm chunky. That's the thing.
Well, I'm not saying I'm not chunky at the moment, Jesus. Are you ready for some Mr. Freeze trivia?
100%. I was born ready for this.
I was born ready for some Mr. Freeze trivia. Well, that's convenient because I've got some Mr. Freeze trivia for you right here. You know, Mr. Freeze has like a blue glow in his mouth. Throughout the
yes,
yeah, when he's wearing a suit of armor. I thought that was like on a chin because he's got this helmet and a chin strap. It's kind of off, and I've just assumed they had a light pointing into his mouth. No, that's not how they did it. They put a flipping blue LED in his mouth, and then at one point it started leaking battery acid, so they had to put it in a balloon. What is that? That's insane. I didn't know that part. That can't be true. Someone's added that to the Wikipedia, surely. Why are you swallowing battery acid, Arnold Schwarzenegger?
What I love as well, sorry, it comes taking it away from this, they almost didn't cast Arnold Schwarzenegger because he just had heart surgery. So they went, oh, well, okay, we'll have him. We'll look after him because of the heart surgery. We'll look after him by battery acid in the mouth.
Battery acid, that'll show. Well, I reckon they put battery acid in his mouth intentionally, to be honest with you, because he refused to shave his head and wore a bald cap, which I think is fair enough, to be honest. I mean, he looks fine. His prosthetic makeup and wardrobe took 6 hours to apply. Now, Schwarzenegger's costume significantly restricted shooting time because he was contracted to 12-hour days. So half his day is putting it on. But I assume part of his day is taking it off. So he's probably only working like an hour or two in the middle. Do you know how much he was paid for this role, by the way? It's too much.
No, I don't.
25 million.
Nah, he earned every penny of that.
That is, quite frankly, ridiculous. That's too much money. He's the best part of the film, but that is too much money. And when you go back up to the top and we talk about the budget and how it's properly added, it's added 25 to 60 million on it. Most of that's just him. So, and also
he earned it.
This isn't trivia, but this is just something I noticed while watching the film. While Mr. Freeze freezes the city, the camera pans around him, and his suit that he wears has got a right old booty on it. He has got some cake at the back of him. Like fair play to him. He's given himself some cake for days. Full on badonkadonk is what I've written here.
That is how you talk.
Anyway, that's Mr. Freeze trivia for you. Have you got any final thoughts you'd like to say before I give you the future, which is actually the past of the Batman franchise?
Honestly, we didn't do the thumbs up, thumbs down.
Oh, we didn't do a thumbs up, thumbs down. Better do it now.
Better do it now.
I'm actually giving it a thumbs up.
Yeah,
still.
Of course. It's a straight thumbs up. Yeah, 100%. It's not a bad film. People need to hate on it less than they do. I think that people have nostalgia for it now, and it's probably received better now than it was then.
100%.
Even though, like I say, I think they did some of the villains dirty. I think the casting for the heroes is not great. I think some of the storylines could have had their own film easily. I think some people in it. I think their discovery of ropes and pulleys to fly people around was overused. But I still liked the film. I enjoyed it. I was sat on my sofa watching it on a Sunday morning. It was fun. I enjoyed my time. That's what I want from stuff I paid to watch and paid to enjoy.
Yeah, I agree with that summary that you've just done there. Yeah, I think most of the issues are on the heroes side and just a bit,
100%.
It's just a bit too much going on.
The best person on the good guy's side was Alfred. 100% Alfred. He is just really enjoyable as a character. He's lovable, and when he does do stuff, it is silly. Like he's trying to get hold of his brother, who's what is he, like the butler to the Maharaja on a traveling.
Yeah, it could be anywhere.
But there's no fixed location. It's ridiculous, and his 3-letter password.
Yeah, Alfred, come on! No wonder so many people break into the Batcave. Head of security, useless. No, I love Alfred.
He's no happy.
He's good stuff. Anyway, here's what happened as a result of this film, because it was like not very well received and it made no money. Due to the film's poor reception, Warner Bros. cancelled future Batman films, including Schumacher's planned Batman Unchained, which is often referred to incorrectly, allegedly, as Batman Triumphant, which is the only version of this I've ever heard about. It's like the next film was going to be called Batman Triumphant. Apparently it's not. Batman Unchained. They were so... Warner Brothers, I alluded to this earlier. Warner Brothers were really happy with how this film was, like, in the dailies that get sent back and the edits, and they were really happy with it. They thought this was going to be another big success. Obviously it wasn't. So they cut it completely. But Batman Unchained, Triumphant, would have seen Harley Quinn. Now, you hate backstories being changed, so how do you feel about this? Harley Quinn would have been in it as the Joker's daughter, trying to get revenge on Batman. It would have featured Scarecrow and a returning Jack Nicholson, they hope, as the Joker via a hallucination.
Okay.
So what do you think of Harley Quinn as the Joker's daughter? Any problems?
Honestly, yes, but canonically, because they're messing up storylines so much, I will let it slide.
Oh, because they've done so much already, you're just like balls to it.
Yeah, some of my favourite storylines are potential screwed up storylines anyway. Like we can go into it another time, but Alfred being the Joker in one of them is one of my personal favourites. The idea of Harley Quinn, I like the Harley Quinn being an inmate at Arkham as well, and then that way of doing it, being the daughter, fine, it's acceptable. It's no worse off than some of the bullshit they've done on this. Yeah, they've broken me. They have broken me.
Who would you reckon they'd have tried to cast as the Scarecrow in 1997? Any big actors that you reckon?
I just really want it to be Russell Crowe.
Not Russell Crowe. It's Nicolas Cage. So Schumacher wanted Nicolas Cage to appear in a cameo in Batman and Robin, set up his appearance in Batman Unchained, before ultimately casting Coolio. Because Coolio is in this film. You go, that's Coolio. I see you. Hello. I'm unclear if Coolio is actually playing Scarecrow. It wasn't immediately obvious.
No.
But if he was, that means in the sequel, Coolio would have been playing the Scarecrow. Can you imagine? Awful.
I love the idea that you gone, well, we can't get Nick Cage. Who is the next
Who's
one?
next on the list?
Coolio.
They're going alphabetically. They're in the C's still, aren't they?
C-A-C-O.
Oh, dear. Anyway, so following the poor critical and financial reception of Batman and Robin, George Clooney vowed to never reprise the role, which is a lie, because he appeared in The Flash 2020 Flash. The Flash as Brucey Wayne. And quite frankly, if you can't trust George Clooney, who can you trust? You know? Hollywood's gone mad.
Coolio, I assume.
Anyway, so they shut down. No fifth film. This franchise is done for now. Until Christopher Nolan made his Chicago movies with Christian Bale, which is a total reboot, miles away from either of the original Burton two films or the Schumacher versions afterwards. And then obviously Zack Snyder brought in Ben Affleck into the Snyderverse, which went its own way, and he's gone now. And now we've got Robert Pattinson and probably somebody else in James Gunn's rebooted DC universe. So we missed out on Coolio as the Scarecrow. As a result of all of this, we got the Nolan Chicago movies, which I don't particularly care for. And then we could have had George Clooney playing Batman for the next 20 years, but we missed out because we got rid of Val Kilmer. So that doesn't really make sense as a sentence, but we should never have got rid of Val Kilmer, is my point.
Yeah.
Right, dear. Anything else you'd like to add?
No, I just like the idea if we hadn't got rid of Val Kilmer, he'd be the new Hugh Jackman doing this till he's 90.
Yeah.
Just keep pushing Batman. Keep going. Yeah,
I reckon
I would enjoy that.
It would be the best. They could have brought back, they don't kill anybody in this franchise. Everyone just ends up in Arkham. So you can do a big team up movie where you can get everyone back. Joker.
Man
who eats fish.
I do think
who's a penguin.
Penguin. I was going to say.
He's a man.
Get his name right. I do think that when they do the remake, the rehash for the James Gunn part, they need to get Julio as Scarecrow. We need to do a petition. This needs to happen. Honestly, it's the thing I've been missing in my life that I didn't realize until just now.
That's why the DCU and all of their films hasn't worked since they brought it back.
No Coolio. Or Nick Cage, either one. Either or both. I'll take both.
Same time. They can play.
Can they play either side of Two-Face?
Yes, Two-Face Scarecrow. They're brilliant. All right, that's our review.
We need to wrap this up.
We do. We've gone so long. That's our review of Batman and Robin, and also Batgirl. Like I say, this is a playlist. You can watch other things. No one's going to be around for this. We've gone way too long. We're on Spotify.
Way too long.
And we will see you next time. Thank you so much for listening and watching, everybody. Farewell.
Bye-bye.